Respectfully, Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about.
Brittney Griner completely unraveled after Stephen A. Smith called her out for making controversial remarks about Caitlin Clark. The former Russian prison survivor tried to frame the discussion around race and crowd reactions, but Stephen A. wasn't having it. He reminded her of some uncomfortable truths that she clearly didn't expect. The response was so sharp that Griner lost her composure entirely, making the moment even more embarrassing for her. Whether it was being confronted for her comments or having her past brought up, the public exchange turned into one of the most humiliating moments of her career. So after her misguided remarks about racial undertones and WNBA fan behavior, Stephen A.'s reality check left Griner in complete shock. A moment that will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Yeah, she says right there, watch this. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. She says WNBA games used to be a chill, quiet place. You could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now, it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are. The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some light racism. But
let's break down what actually happened, because the icy sequence of events is key to understanding why Brittney Griner's reaction spiraled the way it did. In a recent interview, Griner complained about the surge in crowd noise and fan excitement that Caitlin Clark has brought to the WNBA. She pointed out a father and daughter cheering in the stands and suggested their enthusiasm might be tied to her performance, or worse, to light racism. That single phrase set off the firestorm. Griner essentially framed normal fan support as racially motivated, which struck many as unreasonable. The idea that cheering at a basketball game could automatically be linked to racism revealed a mindset Stephen A. Smith simply wasn't willing to overlook.
Respectfully, Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
yeah.
When Stephen A. Smith heard Griner's remarks, he wasted no time responding. He reminded the public that not long ago, Griner was freed from a Russian prison through a high-profile prisoner exchange involving Victor Bout, an arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death, who had been convicted of conspiring to kill Americans. The US government made that trade to bring Griner home, and now, instead of showing gratitude for her freedom, she's directing her energy toward complaints about crowd noise at
when you clearly she's not remembering who they let out to get her back, or the American soul. The Merchant of Death, an arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out. For her,
comparison Stephen A. drew was absolutely crushing. Here was someone who had endured real oppression, real restrictions on freedom, and very real consequences for her actions. Yet she was using her platform to complain about Americans cheering at basketball games. The level of ingratitude and tone deafness was so striking that even some of Griner's supporters struggled to defend her stance. But what truly escalated the situation was Griner's reaction. Instead of acknowledging the valid points Stephen A. raised, or showing any measure of gratitude, she doubled down on a victim narrative. She lashed out at Stephen A., accusing him of not understanding her experiences, dismissing his analysis as ignorant, and ultimately unraveling in a very public way simply because her worldview was challenged.
Prices, insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlin Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right, so let's go through this. Caitlin Clark's absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped.
The irony of Griner's reaction could not have been more fitting. She claimed that crowd noise was disrupting her ability to play basketball, yet her own comments and emotional meltdown created far more noise and distraction than any fan section ever could. In the end, she became the very thing she criticized, a disruptive force pulling attention away from the game itself. Stephen A.'s analysis went deeper than just the prison rescue reminder, though that remained the most striking part of his commentary. He also emphasized that Griner's complaints revealed a fundamental misunderstanding of what professional sports entertainment is supposed to be. Fans don't buy tickets to sit quietly and offer polite applause. They come to cheer, celebrate, and create atmosphere. In almost every other sport, players thrive on that energy, using it to elevate their performance. But Griner framed crowd enthusiasm as a problem instead of an opportunity to showcase her abilities on a larger stage. Her response also exposed how unprepared some WNBA players were for the spotlight. For decades, the league existed with minimal scrutiny, low expectations, and limited accountability. The arrival of Caitlin Clark changed that dynamic overnight, bringing real attention, pressure, and consequences. Some players have adjusted, but others, like Griner, have struggled with the shift. The racial angle of Griner's original comments was particularly damaging. By suggesting that a father and daughter cheering in the stands might reflect light racism, she assumed the worst about fans who were simply showing enthusiasm for the sport. That mindset doesn't build bridges. It looks for problems where none exist. Stephen A. made it clear that this kind of rhetoric is reckless. Tossing around accusations of racism without evidence doesn't just divide fans, it also weakens the impact of addressing genuine racial issues. Griner's reaction to Stephen A.'s critique only made matters worse. Instead of reflecting on the valid points raised, she took to social media with defensive posts, attacked Stephen A. personally, and doubled down on the victim narrative. Her behavior essentially